You have had a lot of success in network comedy, and to me, network comedy is kind of the bloodiest medium in terms of cancellations. And you've had a lot of hits, so I wonder to you, what makes network comedy specifically work?
Oh boy, I think it needs to have some breadth of appeal, and that's always been what people go to network comedies for. But the rest of TV in quotes has gotten so good. You need a little bit of specificity now too. I mean, there were shows that I watched and loved in the 70s, the 80s. I couldn't tell you what the hell they were about, but they were on, and there were 3 channels, and there were good jokes, and we watched them and we laughed at them. But now I think cable and streaming, they bring up the network game, and people want a little more that you can sink your teeth into. But it's any sort of a family, be it real or fake, be it at work or in a home, on a couch, in a kitchen, people that you can relate to, people that you root for, and that don't learn too much on any given week, so all the problems are solved. But people that you just characters that you love and understand and root for. And these days, a little something different, a little bit of a hook to go with them.
Absolutely. You mentioned something you can sink your teeth into, and I think that's something you've really done with Speechless. I got to tell you, I love the show, and I think ABC in general right now is really setting a high bar for network comedy. Their whole slate is really, really honest portrayals of families. Right. How did you, approaching Speechless and knowing you were taking on the topic of disability, what were some of the maybe cautions you took and some of the risks that you wanted to take?
Well, I wanted to make sure that it didn't feel too soft and sweet, too very special on any given episode. I mean, I think you hear the log line of the show, and when I first thought about portraying a family like that, I could certainly see the lousy version of it a lot more easily than I could see the good version of it. So we've been very vigilant from the beginning of trying to give the thing some teeth. So it's not that touchy-feely navel gaze
after school special.
Exactly. Yeah. We've seen them all, and that's what people might expect from a poster with a kid who uses a wheelchair. But it having been my experience, I knew that there was a lot of comedy to be mined. That's what I wanted to bring to it. And it's a funny thing, when we started developing, pitching the show, the people who didn't have any connection to disability said to me, I heard what you're writing about. I thought you were a comedy writer. And then the people who did have some sort of connection said, I heard what you write about. Please tell me it's a comedy. Please tell me, because life with a family member with a disability, you don't wake up every day and curse the stars like, oh my God, he's still in a wheelchair. It becomes life. It becomes business as usual. And as a friend said to me, life with a family member with a disability, it's the same as anybody else. It's just the volume's cranked up a little bit. So that seemed to me to be a nice way, a nice setting for a TV show.
Well, I really appreciate you telling the truth, because I know there's a lot of shows in this vein that don't necessarily do that, and I appreciate that you're holding network comedy to a high standard, because I'm not sure everyone's doing that. So I really appreciate it.
I don't know that I'm setting the bar for anyone, but we're trying to clear that ourselves. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Very nice to meet you. Thanks a lot.
Nice to meet you too.